Yo, 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 Corey.
Yo, what's going on, sir?
Nothing much. What's goody?
Nothing chilling, man. The other day, just here. You know me.
Oh, I was say where. Okay, so that's where Mimi's at. All right.
Okay.
So the last show before hiatus. How we feeling heading into SummerSlam on a scale of 1 to 10?
10. I feel great.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So how? All right. So I feel like I'm like subpar with this, and maybe some of this is because I haven't been watching SmackDown, but that high. All right. What makes it so
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for you?
Yeah. Always at least 2 or 3 points at least because I'm going. So I leave on Friday. So that'll be great.
Nice.
Uh, but no, I think for the matches, I thought when they put the card out on Monday, I thought they split it pretty evenly. I think both nights are equally as good. And I think they've put whatever effort they could into the matches they've made, which some of them were literally just made. But I like the build surrounding them, so I'm okay. I'm looking forward to it. Going into it with an open mind. I'm okay with what we've got coming.
Interesting. All right. And then just to clarify, so the interim women's championship, that's at SummerSlam, or is that going to be the SmackDown before
Yes.
SummerSlam?
Nope. That is on night two. It is on Sunday.
Oh, that is. All right. It's a five.
Yeah.
Wait, but then Julia or Lash Legend? What the hell? So,
Yeah, that's the last one on SmackDown this Friday.
all right. So it's like the card is filled out, but at the same time, there's still like a last, card subject to change. Last minute thing.
I wouldn't say to change, but there's additions. Like I said, they still got to do the last women's match
Mm-hmm.
to determine the fifth contender in the ladder match. But other than that, the card is set. It's 6 matches on each night, so card set.
Sounds good. Mimi. We talking the SummerSlam card and
Yep.
excitement heading into it. I was saying I feel kind of meh going into SummerSlam. Corey's at a
Mhm.
10, so I had to ask like, all right, what makes this a 10? I'm curious.
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
thoughts going into SummerSlam? How you feeling?
Mm, mm. I don't know. I'll be honest. Last night's show was not, from my perception, the greatest, but it is what it is. Like I'm at the same stage I was at WrestleMania. Um, it is what it is at this point, and we're here, and we're just gonna go along for the ride. That's what it is.
I hear you, especially now that we're heading to SummerSlam. So we've had a couple of these pay-per-views on ESPN. Like Corey said, 6 matches on each card, which sounds good. And then I'm just thinking in my head, like, damn, that means we're gonna get some long ass advertisements in between these matches.
Mhm.
I'm not looking forward to this 5, 6 minute gaps in between stuff.
I just don't understand.
Up, look at that. The Matrix,
There it is. She's been clipped by WWE. There it
the
is.
Matrix came and got her. God damn it.
Sorry, should have known better. So, no, I'm joking. Um, no, I really do think. I hear I'm, I always have two sides to that when it comes to the advertisements. I 130% understand. Yeah, it's crazy that we're getting basically commercial breaks in between. The other side of me, I know people hate it. I'm a WWE shill for this, yada yada yada. I've heard it all. It's got to make money. And if this is a way to make money for them, so be it. Listen, if whoever's tuning in is tuning in is tuning in is tuning in, regardless. I know it sounds like dag, just they're taking advantage but listen, they gotta make money somehow. I know they're already making gobs of money, but you can squeeze another. $300-400 or whatever it is, squeeze it out.
Yeah, I understand that these are decisions made above our pay grades and with the higher ups that basically made this ESPN deal. So like ESPN's like, dude, we gotta make something out of this for us. This can't just be one way traffic where WWE's getting all the monies where the Danhausen.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's I like I said, yeah. Even though I say, yeah, get the money. I am totally sympathetic, and I totally understand that. Dag, can we limit what we are getting out of these commercial breaks? I get it. I understand both sides of the argument.
I'm only okay with get the money if that money gets funded to the talent. Especially
Yeah,
if we're still doing this, talent's paying a lot of this shit out of pocket, then hey, compensate for the love of
that's
God.
fair. That's fair.
Take care of your talent. Your talent's gonna want to stick in WWE and not want to be going other places because you ain't taking care of your talent outside of your top people.
Yeah. Nah, you're right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we are here at SummerSlam. I echo Mimi's sentiments. I watched Raw today, and it was just a lot of meh. But at the same time, it's the go home show. They're not gonna do a lot because you don't want people getting injured heading into SummerSlam. This is their second biggest show of the year.
Hmm.
I stand by that. As good as Rumble is, Rumble is really just the Rumbles. And I don't know if people really care about the matches outside of the Rumbles. Whereas SummerSlam is like their second mania of like, especially the history of SummerSlam of like Mania goes to the big stars, but SummerSlam is like the people who like the fans really want to win and really want to develop and get behind. The SummerSlam is usually for them.
I
And
mean, yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, Royal Rumble's a subsection of WrestleMania as a whole. WrestleMania, realistically, with once you include everything that comes with it under that umbrella, WrestleMania is like 3.5 months. And hear me out on that. Everything between once it's Survivor Series is over, everything is geared to the Rumble, which is geared to WrestleMania. I mean, that's why to me, that's why, like you were just saying, that's why SummerSlam stands out to me as the second biggest show. It is the quote unquote WrestleMania of the summer. I mean, again, the Rumble is great, and I know it's a lot of people's favorite pay per view, and I totally understand why. But at the end of the day, it is the big event that's under the umbrella on the road to WrestleMania.
yeah, for me, SummerSlam has always been the event that's like, not only is it because it's around our birthdays, but it's also like this is where WWE would usually take chances with talent and like, let's see how so and so looks with the title. Let's see how so and so looks in the main event. Let's see if we could elevate this person or that woman.
Hmm.
Usually, SummerSlam's a time, and it's fitting because this is a time where you kind of we've been echoing this on previous buckles where you need new stars. You look at both nights. You have your core four. And yes, I'm using a Love Island reference. You have your core
I
four
wouldn't have known.
basically taking over your main events for both nights: Roman and Seth, Cody and Punk.
Yeah, yeah, and you have it's interesting you say that because we can start right there. As far as night one, I don't know what's main eventing. I really
You
don't.
know what's main eventing.
Do we? I don't think that's 100% that Cody and Punk would be the main event. I think it is, but I don't think it's 100%.
That is 100% main eventing because
Probably so.
nothing else on night one makes sense. Like with all due respect, they haven't been giving that show and care to the women's division in a long time. To that, I have any faith that Liv and Io has main evented. Like we have to go
No,
all,
I'm talking about Ober and Brock. That could easily main event night one.
and even so, it's like all it is a Hell in a Cell match is a possible blow off to a few, but that doesn't scream main event either. Especially when there's
Okay.
nothing on the line for that. Like if the title was on the line, I would 100% say, all right, that probably main events. But it's just a straight up Hell in a Cell match for bragging rights. That doesn't scream a main event unless it's someone's retirement match, unless it's like Taker versus Streak, like something along those lines. It's like there's no added states other than they want to beat the shit out of each other and it's in a Hell in a Cell. That doesn't scream main event. That screams the first match once we move away from the first hour of free on ESPN and we go over to all right, now we're watching for real. Either that opens the show or that's the first one when we change over.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right. I think Mimi's having technical difficulties. I know she's listening, but
I know I'm gonna keep trying to get her the mic. The
yeah,
Matrix is fighting us, so we gotta fight,
yeah,
Agent
she may
Smith at
have
the
to.
moment.
Yeah, she may have to leave out and come back in, but that's fine.
But yeah, if you have Cody and Punk for the title, that's 100% main eventing, dude. Like if Oba and Brock had stakes, I would give that a chance. And like I said, they haven't given care to the women. Like the last time the women have main evented a major pay-per-view show, you got to go back to Sasha and Bianca night one at WrestleMania 37. It's been that long.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any
And
confidence in anything that the women are main eventing anything at
yeah,
this
and
at this at this SummerSlam.
it's sad that it's like we have to go almost 5 years back for the last time the women have main evented any night on a major pay-per-view for WWE. But that just speaks to the whole totality of they've kind of taken a step back as a whole. Even though Liv and Io on any other time, that screams a main event match. Especially like the feud's been there, the animosity's been there. If Liv had more title defenses, I think there would be more people behind it instead of she's had the belt 100 days. This is going to be her first title defense, and people are still not happy that she was in that Queen of the Ring tournament, let alone made it to the finals. And then you
I
got
mean, yeah,
and then you got people like
yeah,
me who just don't see it for Liv Morgan. That doesn't scream main event.
and that's fair. I mean, some people. I just think the stories going into them for the most part have not. They have not been able to break the ceiling of being better than the whatever they put in the main event, and that's not their fault. It's the way it's booked. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I mean, there hasn't been. I mean, there's been some stories that if they had a little bit more steam, it could have been a main event. But until they do that, I mean, they've got to commit something. And honestly, I don't think that happens till you get maybe like a Bianca or a Naomi or even Rhea with the right dance partner back. I don't think with the current slate of women that are there right now, I think it's going to be really tough to try to get them to a main event picture. It's just not being booked that way.
All right, so which match outside of the main event are you looking forward to night one?
Uh, I'm thinking. Let me look back at the card because
So you
again, I mean,
have so it's Liv versus Io for the Women's World Championship. It's Oba and Brock for Hell in a Cell. It's LA Knight, Solo Sokoa, and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline in a six-man tag match. It's Gunther
mhm.
versus Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis
Oh,
coming out of
that's it. No, no,
retirement.
no, that's it. That's it. Nope, that's it. That's it right there. Um, and I'm saying that because Punk and Cody and Oba and Brock to me are both main events to me. It's just a matter of where they put them at in the card at this point. But both of them are main events, so I won't say that as to answer your question. But Gunther and Nick Aldis will be fantastic.
I think for me, that one I have the lowest expectations, but I think is gonna exceed just because I have no idea what to expect from Nick Aldis after all this time.
Oh no, I think he's fine. I think he'll be just fine. I think that he's in there with the right person too, even if there is some ring rust or hiccups or anything. No, I think they will both be fine. I think that match will be very good.
Sorry, we're trying to help Mimi out with some of the technical difficulties
Yeah,
here.
no, 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 no. I thought it was a delay or something. My bad.
Are you good? All right, so Gunther Nick Aldis. See, for me, I think the default is over Brock just because I'm caught up on the Bloodline tag match with LA Knight, Solo, and Royce. I got to go back and watch SmackDown, see how Royce entered into this. But
Oh,
Solo
you got to go
obviously
back.
make
You got to go back before that, Justin, because they pretty much since since Solo kind of showed up a couple weeks ago in the Jimmy and LA Knight match. Nah, he's been there. He isn't a late addition. They've been booking it as a six man for a while. That Royce Keys is heavily involved in this. So yeah, no, it may be a couple of weeks back on a SmackDown or something. You'd have to go back, but he's been there though.
yeah, but then like LA Knight and Solo Sikoa is like, all right, I understand they've been beefing with the Bloodline for like the
Hmm.
longest time. That this now, hopefully, this is like, all right, let's end this once and for all and go separate ways and make a decision here.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, but I think now that's one I think Keys and Solo and LA Knight, they actually might win this one. Cal, you're in whenever you want to jump in. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
I let him in. He's yeah, whenever you want, Cal. But yeah, Justin, I think there's more to come with that with those six people as to why I think that's why I think Keys and Knight and Solo win. I think there's a continuation coming.
interesting piece of the algorithm. Like we said, you could hop in whenever, dude. You got free reign
Appreciate
on the
y'all.
mic.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate y'all. I That's an interesting match. That's probably one that's going to be more fun than people are thinking. But
Hmm.
it's always a question of if you're not that invested, I think in the bloodline of it all, the most important thing of that match is going to be that 5 minutes afterwards or whatever thread they add to the next chapter of this thing. So if you're not
Hmm.
into it, you really won't give a shit. But I do think that may be one of the more entertaining matches. It's Usos, it's Solo. You know what I mean? Like you really can't. If anything, Roy should be getting a good highlight out of that. He's kind
Yes.
of like the newest one out of there, so you may want to look for him in that match. Honestly,
Yeah. Um, I think Solo is the one that they'll story wise, Cal and Justin. I think story wise, you see more development or further enhancement with that. But like you just said, Cal, the showcase, at least the in ring stuff, to get people invested in the Royce Keys even more. Yeah, I think that's where the a lot of the action is going to come from. He might get the pinfall for real if they win. He
he
might
might
be
get
the
that
one get.
pinfall.
Yeah, he might be the
Yeah.
one getting the pinfall. Absolutely.
No, but you're right because I mean, even Solo and a lot of people, you just get check the timeline. People fuck with Solo. Solo
Yep.
had a good showing on Raw last night.
Hmm.
Outside, hate or love that episode. Solo's been doing good stuff. It's interesting to see again. I don't know what that's going to translate to in the match because
Yeah.
I still can't figure what his angle is. Like he's angling for something, but what that something is going to be, I don't know what that's going to end up being. But
Yeah, there's more. Again, like we were just saying, there's more story with
right,
Solo than
right.
the in ring. So you hit it on the head. LA Knight's already established of what he's fine. He'll get the hot tags, the blah blah blah. Solo, there's more. There's going to be more story development with him, possibly in the night too, if anything. But as far as like you mentioned before, again, the showcasing of somebody getting the rub in that match of being heavily featured, I think that should be and will be Royce Keys. I agree with that.
I agree. If anyone's should get the pin, I think Royce benefits the most. The other
Hmm.
guys don't need it as much, and anyone to blow. I think Jimmy and Jay are basically bulletproof to where they can take the L and take the pin. I think Jacob shouldn't just because he's already taken L's to Roman.
Sadly, it'll
That
be Jimmy. It's
that
gonna
and
be Jimmy.
I'm okay with that. You know, we love Big Jim, but at the same time, like, dude, just eat the pin. Cut the check, eat the pin. You be fine. But Jacob's the one out of the three is like we don't need him to take a pin because that'll be three in a row for him, and that's gonna be a not so good look if you're trying to
Yeah.
really take him serious as an enforcer. We kind of need to rebuild, and they've been doing a good job rebuilding him as the enforcer in the bloodline. But as long as he don't eat the pin, we good.
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to jump in, I mean, just hit the request button, people, and we can let you in if you want to talk SummerSlam. But yeah, um, night one again. Night one is really, granted, the two anchor matches, I'll call them, because like we talked, one's opening and one's closing. Let's just get that out the way now. One of those is opening and one of those is closing. More than likely, Brock and Oba's probably opening. I don't even see another match that you would open with, not even the six man. Um, the six woman is interesting also because I wonder where they're going now that Nikki is back. I do. Is it just a clean break and Nikki and Brie just team again, and Paige goes along her way, and they're still tied together, but they go separate, or is this something where Fatal Influence wins at SummerSlam, and then they blame Paige and turn on her or something? Like, I'd be interested to see where that's going. Also,
I think that answer lies in what do they have planned for the Bella Twins post SummerSlam? Because I we saw they kind of did like a little filming of like Nikki's rehab because
hmm
obviously that wasn't just a sprain, like she really fucked up that foot.
yeah,
So if they're gonna really stick around for a little bit,
hmm
maybe you can do them as like the proper Bella Twins team, like they should
right,
Yeah,
have. And especially you need tag teams for that women's tag team division.
right.
Like if
hmm
Charlotte's gonna be doing singles work and kind of drifting that way, then you kind of need to put another tag team in their place, and they need to occupy that. But obviously, we never got a proper Nikki versus Brie storyline. They had it when it was hot, and then they kind of deviated away because I think people were like, we prefer the Bella Twins together versus separate.
Right.
So that's always on the table because they've never really like let's go there and properly invest in it and like, hey girls, gloves off for 3 4 months.
I originally my thought was they were going to win the Bella Twins are going to win the tag titles. They were going to have the proper, because I don't think they actually won the tag titles as the Bella Twins, right?
never, never.
Nope.
The belts didn't
So
exist.
the belts didn't exist exactly. So I think they wanted to do that, but I thought what was going to happen was naturally Nikki was going to they lose the titles, and then Nikki would take Brie out, and then Nikki would be able to have that final run that she wants. Then she got injured, and I spoke to her in the midst. I want to say I spoke to her in May. When I spoke to her, and just to piggyback off what Justin was saying, she really fucked up. Her shit was really fucked up. The way she was talking about it, the rehab, it took a little bit. And when I was talking to her in May, and she said that she would be going back in June for checkups to make sure everything was good, to see where she was at, I was like, oh, she coming back at SummerSlam. So when she popped up the other day, it was right on my timeline. I still think we're going. She has to take care of business. She got to get rid of these chicks, and I think the Bella Twins are going to get that tag run.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
then I by WrestleMania, I think Nikki Bella's they're either going to be having they would have already had that blow off, and she's going to be trying to vie for somebody's title, or they're going to be having that blow off, and then she'll be vying for somebody. That I think that's all going to be in the midst, because I think they're on the way out.
Yeah, Nikki kind of
There's only
alluded
so
to that, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's only so much. They already retired. They retired during, or they went in the Hall of Fame during the pandemic,
hmm
and I
Yep.
think they pretty much called it quits. But yeah, I mean, with the way that that money works and coming back for these final runs, that tag team title run for the Bella Twins is inevitable.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's inevitable. So
You gotta
I
sell.
I,
Gotta
I
sell
think
some
they win
side
here, and then they
plates.
go. They got to sell some side plates. You got to sell some T-shirts. There's too much of a fan base out there that's been waiting for this. You know what I mean?
Sure is.
So yeah,
I'm
time is
one of
now.
them.
See, hey, shout out to those wrestling girls and everybody who champions the Bella Twins and what they did for getting a lot of women into wrestling in general, but like WWE in particular. I think it's as the same way Sami Zayn gets his title and that means something. The same way some of these other people get them titles and mean something. I think that's what they're gonna do with the Bella Twins. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, Brie was even doing the tribute with Nikki. that she had Nikki's side plate on her belt.
See, yeah, it'll happen. This is that run. You're gonna get any Bella Twin fan. You about Bella Army. You about to get all that stuff. Don't worry.
Good. We should.
Hey, the sooner the better, because then you get it, and then we can move on to business from here.
There we go. Okay.
But hey,
Man ain't wrong. Man ain't wrong.
once they made them belts, and thank you Sasha and Bailey for getting on Vince's ass for years to create that damn belt and create that damn division. Once those belts were introduced, it was a matter of time for the belts were going to unretire and come after them. It just took a
I
lot
agree.
longer than expected for them to get it, and circumstances happen. But it's got to end with they got to hold it once together before they ride off into sunset. You got to.
I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
I agree.
I see Bill Bixby has a question. I do want to add. I mean, I just want to comment. Interesting time to see with the Bella Twins and AJ Lee. I wonder if if it may be time to get that proper or if they'll want to do some type of Evolution 2 and really pay tribute to that Divas era.
Evolution
There's a
3.
lot of women that may be from that era that could marinate and then be on get their final goodbyes.
Yeah, I agree. Evolution 3, Cal, not 2.
Oh, my fault. That's right. They did run it back. My fault.
We forced them to bring out Evolution 2, which ended up being an amazing pay-per-view.
Hey, force them again. Worry about keep booing. I don't know if we're gonna bring it up. Keep booing Danhausen and force him to do Evolution 3. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're gonna get tonight too, and Danhausen and all that. But Bill Bixby, I see your hand up. We talking night one SummerSlam so far.
How's it going, gentlemen?
We doing all right. How you doing?
Good. Man, good. First thing first, I gotta bring this up about that women's ladder match. I hated the fact that they made an interim title because I believe that it.
Hold on. That's night 2. We're gonna get to that.
All right, cool. I got a point. I missed you guys last, so I got a point about how this whole bigger picture on that one is. But the thing is, right? Y'all talk about women main eventing. Becky Lynch said something a while back is that you have to condition people that some of these women can main event. You have to throw them out there. And especially even some of these B-level pay-per-views, PLEs or whatever, I still say pay-per-view. You can throw a match out there. Let's just say Liv and Io, right? Let's just say that was like Bad Blood or so. I was naming a random B-level pay-per-view. Throw it out there. Condition the fans because the fans are conditioned that it's Roman, Seth, Cody, and Punk, and that's it. And I believe that if you don't condition the fans, they won't believe they're main eventers. But I do think with night one, I'm looking forward to Nick Aldis versus Gunther. Because I think it's going to be a fine match. People are going to really figure out how big Nick Aldis is. And I think it's a good match with Gunther because he's been... People try to career killer, but he's also a bully. And Nick Aldis got tired of taking his shit. And so we'll see what happens. But the one thing I want to bring up also, I know people love get mad about ads on these WWE pay-per-views. They have a different model than, let's just say, AEW, because AEW is still the old school traditional model where you just have match after match and everything. This is a different animal where you're using streaming services where they're trying to get money. And if they didn't have these ads, they would have raised these prices. And I know fans love talking about minutes of wrestling. The average NFL game is 3 hours, three and a half hours. There's only 60 minutes of football. So that's all genres of entertainment. And I look at do I like them all the time? No. But it is what it is. But the bigger issue is ESPN insistence on putting on 2 matches on the regular ESPN. He paid all this money. Put everything on the damn out, because it kind of throws the match order off too. Because why are we getting Cody in like that free TV or over Brock free TV?
So Bill Bixby, so the opening match is now in the last, I'd say 20 years or less. The opening match is just as important as the main event. It's not looked at quote unquote curtain jerking anymore. Like it is now.
Yeah,
like it is just as important as the main event. I know it's funny to say if you're not first, you're last, but that's what they go by. if
This
you're
ain't
not
that stuff.
first, you're last. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, nah.
but you get what I'm saying about
I
the
get what you're saying.
ESPN aspect of it. Yeah, because if folks don't notice, ESPN has bungled rollouts for all their partners, by the way. Turn on
Yeah, but
SEC
I
basketball and
mean,
football. They
but the
bungled that
thing
stuff.
is though, if you can get one more, that's one more subscription you didn't
Yeah,
have. If you show Ober and Brock at the beginning, or Cody and Punk at the beginning, that somebody's tuning in. It's like, oh man, I haven't watched wrestling in a minute. I want to see what everybody else is doing. Some
yeah,
people really look at it like that, and it sounds cliche and corny, but that happens. That's one more subscription that they didn't have because they aired it on ESPN. It's not hurting us in the sense that we already paid for it. We're
yeah,
gonna watch anyway. I hate to say it like that, but
yeah,
it's not diminishing us as a consumer, but
And it's
yeah,
we already
more
paid for it.
important for them to have that opening match now
yeah.
because we're about to flip the page to August, and you and me and Corey know August
Downtime.
means NFL's coming back, college football's coming
Yeah.
back, and
Hmm.
those Saturdays are going to be occupied with splitting
Hmm.
attention between football and other stuff. And the footies are going to start doing club football not too far along either. So you're going to have attention being diverse. So this is the last weekend of like, unless you was a diehard baseball head, there's no other sports to take your attention away from this.
Hey, can
So
I ask you
they got
guys?
to capitalize on it.
Can I ask you guys a question? First things first. Kyle will be yelling Jersey because Liv is winning. But do y'all think this, like when the calendar turns to fall, wouldn't this be a good idea to really try some shit out? Because this is kind of like your downtime ramp up season anyway. Why not give somebody a shot? Try some things out in that
I
time of
think
year.
I think October. I think October will be kind of your
Mm,
benchmark to look at with the
yeah,
Money in the Bank pay per view now being in October.
perfect.
I think a lot of people didn't look at this, but I looked at it when they moved it as, oh, this is smart because they
Hmm.
moving a semi big to somewhat big pay per view or PLE whatever into the fall when, like you just mentioned, the fall normally has downtime.
Hmm.
Now there's a reason to watch in
Mm,
the fall because somebody's carrying a briefcase
y-
that relatively just got it that didn't have. So that's the way I looked at it when it launched because I thought it was good to have
yeah.
because you had so much in the summer. You had Money in the Bank and SummerSlam in the summer
And King of
and
the
King of the
Ring.
Ring. Like it was, yeah, there was a lot floating around. So to spread that out, I thought was a smart idea.
Yeah, I'll mute my mic until y'all talk about night two. And I'll raise my hand after
Okay,
about night two.
sounds good. Thank you for that.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, just jump back in when raise your hand, jump back in. We'll
Yep.
get you in for sure.
Vaughn, we are talking night one of SummerSlam.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? As far as night
What's
one of
up?
SummerSlam, of course, if I'll say it like this: when it comes to Brock and Oba, if it's not last, then there's I believe it's going to end up being first because in typical Brock fashion, if he's not last, he's going to be first anyway. Just like night two of WrestleMania 42, and so as far as that, and the thing is, I think that's going to be like that's the match I'm really gonna look forward to the most. Even over CM Punk and Cody. You know what I mean? As far as that's concerned, and so of course as far as that, and of course I'm definitely looking out for for I guess I could get the card mixed up a little bit, but especially when it comes to like the Nick Aldis and Gunther match, and especially when Nick is of course taking putting the proverbial jersey back on, if you will, and jumping out of retirement, at least for one last go round. You know what I mean? I hope it's not, messing up, some of the card order or whatever. But yeah, but as far as as like of course, when it comes to when it comes to this this type of season right now that we're in, to piggyback off of some of the previous conversation, is that this is now or never, what I mean, like do or die, if you will, especially when it comes to getting the fans attention, especially, and it just so happens that that SummerSlam is literally in a football stadium, and football season is literally one month away, 1 month away from SummerSlam anyway. And so the fact that they have it in the Viking Stadium, like I said, I feel like I don't know if, I can't say it's a coincidence or whatever the case is, but I believe that was, I believe that was definitely planned. Just to get that sense of momentum before before the audience shifts anyway, especially with with it being ESPN. And so and the thing is, it's just like when it comes to like I said, when it comes to the ads, that's unfortunately, whether we like it or not, that's pretty much the nature of the beast. But like, no pun intended, but I definitely, as far, like I said, I definitely think that's the nature of the beast. And so like that just comes along with it. Even when it came to WrestleMania, I wasn't really complaining too much about the ads. I was like, you know what, let's just
Mhm.
go, just see for what it is. And because I know it comes with the territory anyway. What I mean?
Right.
So, but at the same time, I was still gonna watch, as far as that's concerned. But yeah, like I said, when it comes to SummerSlam in Minnesota, they're definitely going to bring the heat to an otherwise, very cold place.
Yeah, I agree.
I see what you did there.
Nah, I appreciate it. See,
All right. Any closing thoughts on night one before we close the book and head to night two?
I'm good.
Think I'm good too. I think we gave attention to everything for the
Hmm.
most part. Do we see more than one title change? Do we said
On night one,
there's two title defenses on night one? Do so obviously the over under would be one.
right?
You think
Uh,
Liv
one and
and
a half.
so do you think Liv and Punk are walking out with their titles? Both of them.
Yes, yes,
At least one of them is, yes.
yeah.
I see Punk walking away.
And
Oh, that's not
I
who I was
think I
talking about.
yeah I think Liv does just because one, she's fantastic and amazing and
Yeah,
everything
you
great,
see? There you go.
see,
and
you getting this in because
two,
Mimi not here to, to jump on that
yeah,
ass.
I don't care. She could be here if she wanted to. I don't care.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
I know
Wow.
she can hear it.
oh,
I don't care.
Well,
damn.
if her
She
mic
knows it.
wasn't messed up, she probably would.
Nah,
Well,
Wow.
okay,
nah.
and it is.
Mimi,
That's not
Mimi's
my
in the space.
problem.
She may not have the mic, but she's in the
I know
rafters.
she is. I hope she can hear me. She knows
She's
this.
in the
This is
rafters
not
like Sting.
anything
Like,
new.
damn it.
I don't care. I'm true to this. She can say whatever she wants, whenever she wants. That's fine. I have an ear. I'll hear it. Um, I mean, at this point, Liv's going to win. I think more so for real because I still think the Stephanie Vaquer factor is there. That I think Liv's feud with her is going to factor in on Liv retaining. Now, it's just going to depend on whether they want Stephanie to cost her and she goes ahead and she drops it to EO and they do Liv and Stephanie without the title, but I think it's better with the title. So I think Liv keeps it, to be honest.
I think I agree with you. Lives the live. I have confidence keeping it than Punk, especially when it's you're going against that man in the big four. I'm all at this point is Cody's going to win until I see otherwise.
I don't think Cody
Jersey.
winning. Yeah, I don't think Cody's
Jersey.
winning.
All right, Marks and Mikes. Did you want to hop in on night one quick before we turn the page to night two?
No, y'all can go ahead and turn that page, man. There's nothing for me to talk about on night one.
Hey, man.
Not at all.
He said what he said, so we're gonna head over to night two, which I think there's a lot more consequence, a lot more matches with consequence in night two. Like night one feels like this could be a sleeper, but night two feels like that there's so much going on here because you got Roman and Seth for the title, you got Penta and Chad for the IC title, you got Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, number one contenders match. You got Trick Williams, Baron Corbin for the United States Championship. You got this five-way ladder match, and oh my, Corey, this annoys me to no end why they could not just have Rhea drop this freaking title, let her heal without having to rush, and just put the damn title on one of these five women properly, especially that this is at SummerSlam, but
Right.
interim. Really?
I'll give the benefit of the doubt, Justin, and I'll be that guy. I got to think on the other side. I truly want to believe that they really didn't know her diagnosis to where they thought she maybe had a chance.
I think otherwise because torn meniscus, you're getting that MRI, you're seeing that's a torn meniscus, and you know there's a timeline on that. Now, If she had a setback in between the rehab, and that's why we have the delay, that's something different. And that obviously that's the worrisome part about trying to rush this talent, like talent trying to rush back, especially when it's like knee ligaments and stuff like that, where it's like, 4 to 6 weeks, and maybe you push a little too much, and now you have a setback, and now 6 weeks becomes 12 weeks. But this would have done so much service if you just took the belt off of Rhea, let her just heal in peace, and not have this. I have to rush back now because it's interim and there's expectations.
Well, I think the interim is bailing them out, Justin. I think at this point, because they've now settled the dust and it is interim now, they can take their time because there will be a champion on TV, and they've made the executive decision. Rhea's going to be interim champion. I mean, Rhea's going to be in a championship match when she comes back, and the undisputed champion will be crowned then. I mean, at this point, it gives what the time that you're talking about to take her time and actually heal. Now they can do it because they've provided clarity to the title scene. I mean, I absolutely get that there should be one champion. I get that argument. I do think I want to get, like I said, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't know what it was going to be and they thought maybe would be ready. But because she's not, they've made a decision. Now there's an interim champion and there will be a match when she comes back.
I
Yeah,
I think what
yeah.
honestly this does is it telegraphs who wins, because you look at who's in here: Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair, Julia or Lash Legend. I think this is going to probably be Lash.
Mm.
If this
Yeah.
wasn't an interim title, I think there would be more onus on like Tiffany or Lash winning. But because it's an interim, it's like who can get this, but then lose it to Rhea to unify this, because it's basically
Well, how do we know? How do you know Rhea's winning?
because if they didn't take that belt off of her that now, they're not taking it off of her in a couple weeks when they get to unify this.
Good
They,
question.
they kind of took their
I'll be
hand
that
with
guy.
we really want her to be champion, which is why we're not taking this belt off of her. And whoever's the interim, when Rhea comes back, we're gonna do title versus title and get rid of this interim crap. But you gotta be able to take this L later.
Well, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Rhea's winning. I'll be again for the sake of conversation. I think there's a world where whoever's the interim champion to establish that person, they beat her too.
I could see that, but that's where again if the interim makes it hard, because then if this was an interim, then this would be a lot more. I would have more faith in Tiffany or Lash getting this, but this feels like Charlotte or Jade.
Yeah, I could see Charlotte and Jade, and then they're feuding back and forth because they're already feuding now. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, especially that Charlotte hasn't held a single title in
So
like over a year. It's like it's almost overdue for Charlotte to hold a singles title. But with interim, we're not gonna be mad with Charlotte losing in 30 days.
Mm,
hmm,
nah, not. I don't think we'll be mad at it, but I do get both y'all points. Like it doesn't make sense to have her be interim champ, whoever wins interim champion, and face Rhea, and for Rhea to lose it, because why not just script her? But I also think about the fact that they are trying to go a little bit more sports based from what I've read.
hmm
So it's kind of like what USC does. If someone's out, like for instance, John Jones was out forever. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have an interim heavyweight champion forever. Like I think that's the route they're going. Obviously, you would want the person who was interim, whoever wins this match, to beat Rhea, but obviously it looks like that they're putting Rhea as basically the cash cow for the women's division on SmackDown. Like this is going to generate money. This is going to generate more viewers.
hmm
So I think they're looking at it from that standpoint. Do I think it's fair? Nah. I mean, script the title and just put it on somebody. Either way, we're coming to the same conclusion. Usually, what happens when the champion goes out? What is it? I'm coming back for the title that I never lost. You could have stuck with that, but I digress.
Again, I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm just gonna say it feels like they thought they went up to the last moment and
Oh
thought
yeah,
she
for
may have been
sure.
ready.
And I
Again, not saying y'all are wrong, because y'all very much so are probably right, but I gotta give that benefit of the doubt for the sake of argument.
Okay. Bill,
yeah.
did you want to hop in on this?
Yeah. Here's my issue because I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys last week. I hate it because it does Rhea no favors because it gives her the illusion of being propped up by the company. Uh, and I think Chelsea's going to win for some reason. And if Chelsea wins this title and Rhea tries to come back and take it, fans may turn on Rhea. Be honest with you, because Chelsea's becoming beloved. But I say just strip the title because meniscus injuries are tricky. Because in a sports term, that what did Derrick Rose in ultimately. Those things are tricky enough to be played with. They knew she tore this thing. You could strip it. If she come back 2 months later, she could have her match. But to me, it gives off what that thing called propped up. And it's not gonna, it's like, I don't want Charlotte to get number 15 under these circumstances. Jade, I don't want her getting it because she is gonna drop it back to Rhea and Rhea comes back. I just think they should have just stripped the title, had this match, and when Rhea's ready, she could have her match. But I say this real quick, the interim thing makes it look like that, okay, Rhea, they just keep it warm when she comes back. And I just think it did no one any favors.
Now, I may be wrong in this, and my memory is kind of foggy right now underneath the
That's why you
circumstances.
got me and
But
Corey. Corey is the historian. I'm not that far behind. Go ahead.
but isn't this similar to what they did with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon? I could be wrong. I don't know. Was interim champion?
No, they in the storyline. So what happened was Sean was suspended for 30 days, but the storyline was that he didn't defend the title. You know that whole 30-day rule. So they stripped him, but they crowned Razor as the new champion. The storyline to get the match out of it was that Sean still had the physical title, so he came back with the physical title and was calling himself the Intercontinental Champion.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. That's what it was. Yeah, Cloud9 is kicking my ass, but I
Okay.
can definitely see. I can definitely see. Like personally, I would like to see whoever it is who wins this go up against Rhea inside of a ladder match. That's what I want to see. Give me Sean and Razor for the women's
Um,
division.
I don't know if I feel comfortable having my star who's coming off a torn meniscus in a ladder match, her first one back.
They don't care about that shit. You seen what they did to KO and everybody who out right now.
KO's
Go ahead, get
KO
back up there, go do some flipping shit.
KO's different, man. That man's special.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, just coming off of that injury, it does make sense of something. But
Yeah, it's like you don't
just
want
give
her
me
landing
those
wrong and
vibes.
all of a sudden, boom, she retore something. Because you know this, once you have like a knee injury where like you tore a ligament, it
Oh
doesn't take
yeah,
much to sometimes re-injure.
you ain't
Like
never lied
Seth,
about
so
that.
Seth is literally a living example of like how easy it is to re-injure your knee coming off of torn ligaments.
I'm gonna say this, guys. I'm gonna because these are great examples as to why not to. I'm gonna go the other route. I feel like one-on-one ladder matches are culminations of long stories. I don't think you do that with Rhea and the interim champion because pretty much the only story they're going to have is that one person's the interim champion and the other isn't. I think this dictates just having a match to settle it and we get the winner. There's usually a one-on-one ladder matches. There's, like I said, there's some chicanery. There's been a backstory. Shawn and Chris Jericho from '08 from No Mercy. There was a 6-month story with that. And so, just like I said, these one-on-one matches that they have with ladder matches are pretty much they save those for endings of stories. They're similar to doing cell matches or cage matches. They're kind of used as blow offs. But the multi-mans, obviously, we see that all the time. They just throw 6 people or 8 people in a match, and you can have that ladder match. But I don't think I'm putting Rhea in there with no story for a one-on-one ladder match. That's just me.
I agree. Adam, did you want to hop in on this 5-way ladder match before we move on to the other ones?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Go.
We don't mind.
Uh, I was wondering, you guys had mentioned how sports are about to ramp up after August. Is there any concrete evidence that possibly this interim could be used to highlight someone? And I don't know, are they going to be defending that interim title when they win it?
Oh yeah, nah,
And
they're the champion, Adam. As to my understanding, as far as they are the champion until Rhea comes back and they have a match to crown the undisputed women's champion. Until then,
so,
yeah, the interim champion assumes all duties and rights as the women's world champ or the women's champion, women's WWE champion. So they will be the champion for sure.
so my thing is that why not, just try something. Maybe put it on Lash, have her defend it. I mean, all the talk about Liv not defending it when that's probably more due to Stephanie
Yep.
Vaquer's injury, but why not put it on Lash or Chelsea and have, or Julia, if Julia ends up winning, and now you got a title that's being defended every week, and we know we're going to get some kind of conclusion at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great way to build up Lash Legend as a champion. Nia Jax lost, and there's some chicanery going on with Nia Jax's story when it comes to qualifying for
Mhm.
that ladder match. So you could tell a whole story there where Lash is the mentee to Nia Jax's mentor, and maybe we get a turn down at the end or whatnot. But I think it would be a good opportunity, hopefully, maybe wishful thinking, to build someone up like Lash, because we know she's going to be a future women's champion
Mhm.
at some point. I think this would be the best way to try it, is with that interim tag.
Well, Adam, I'll throw this in here real quick, Justin. I'm gonna throw it right to you. I've been saying for in other outlets that I feel like this is a 3 woman match, and I feel like Charlotte and Jade are canceling themselves out because I think they're gonna have a feud separately anyway. I don't think either one of them are becoming champion. I'd honestly be very surprised if one of them ended up winning. I think Chelsea is, to me, right now the slight favorite because I feel as though a lot of stuff with Unreal is going to tie into this if Chelsea wins it. I feel there's a whole story coming in with that on the next season or whatever season covers SummerSlam if Chelsea wins it. Because she's been prominently featured now in the last, or actually really in all 3 seasons, she's been featured. I think that she's slightly the favorite to win this match. I also think what you call it, Tiffany being in Minnesota. I, Listen, they've given her the women's title before when people didn't agree with it. She's the United States champion right now. I don't think there's any reason that they wouldn't possibly put the world championship on her and she becomes Tiffy two belts. I don't see a world where that doesn't happen. To be honest, they easily could do that. Last Legend is the dark horse to me. And that's the person I think that if they, like you mentioned, Adam, everything you said was correct. If they want to throw darts at the wall and see if something sticks and take a chance, you could easily do that with Lash Legend because again, there's there's history shows Tiffy could possibly get it. There's a whole story dealing with Unreal that shows that Chelsea could get it. But if they want to see if something happens and something sticks, you could give it to Lash Legend. So I do think it's a 3 woman race. As far as whoever gets that third spot, I mean that fifth spot in the ladder match, and Tiffy and Chelsea. I don't think Charlotte and Jade are in
You
the running at
disappeared,
all.
man. We can't hear you, or at least I can't.
My fault. Sorry. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Charlotte and Jade have a big chance at getting it at all.
All right, for me, interim is short term. As much as I would love Lash to get it, I don't also want to see a Sami Zayn short level title reign when Rhea's getting it right back. If that's going to be the case, I think Tiffany and Chelsea make more sense, but I think Chelsea makes the most sense to me because Tiffany already occupies a belt, as much as they love her, as much as she's the hometown girl, we've seen WWE numerous times. Hometown don't mean you always win.
I
Sure,
think that's the old regime, though. I don't know about this one. I think they. I don't think. I
that's
think they
true.
win now.
I think someone made a great point of like this would be Charlotte getting number 15. I don't think they want her to get number 15 like this in an interim sense. I think they want more stakes and more one-on-one for that. Jade would make sense, but there's a chance that Charlotte can
Justin, can we
cancel
go back to
it
that?
out.
Can we go back to that with Charlotte right quick? I have a
Yep.
question for y'all as far as what do y'all think with this with Charlotte, as far as specifically number 15. If she wins the interim, does she become number 15 or does she become 15 if she beats Rhea and becomes the undisputed champion?
I think it's 15 with the undisputed because this would be the asterisk. Because you're
Yeah,
while it's interim, you're not the champ. You're like you're the temporary champ, but you're not the champ.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking. I don't know if I'd have to see. Well, I guess if she won, we know then. But I don't know if. To me, I agree with you, Justin. I don't think it counts until she becomes the undisputed. There's no other champion that can claim rights to being the champion. Until then, I wouldn't consider it 15 either for it.
I
But
I
yeah,
think
I don't know.
you gotta wait until the distinction they give it. I don't I because I hear what you're saying, but if
Hmm.
Michael Cole says
Yeah,
15 time, then
I
you already
agree.
know what they're saying. So
Yep. I 100% agree, Cal. That's why I would need to hear it. If Charlotte won, I would need to hear it out of, like you said, Michael Cole's mouth or whoever,
yeah,
that
right.
she's the 15-time champion.
Yep.
Because to me, the logic would be you're not the champion until there's nobody else that can say they're the champion. Because Rhea can still say she's the champion because she is. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
So I'll make a prediction
mm,
on this later, but right now, Chelsea makes the
mm.
most sense. Even though don't tell Bruce Pritchard because Bruce Pritchard's not a Chelsea Green guy.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
I about to say hop in here, DDM. I saw you
what's
You
going
waiting.
on,
I,
sir?
I,
know, how are you? So
Fantastic.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um, I'm thinking about if Chelsea Green wins, which I am Team Green. I have all of her shirts and merch. However, what does a Chelsea Green and Rhea Ripley wrestling match look like when Rhea returns for the belt? Because Chelsea Green isn't portrayed as this behemoth of wrestling, even though she can wrestle. But her character isn't booked like that. So, from a fan perspective, do we have Chelsea Green beat Rhea Ripley in an upset and go on this like crazy terror reign? What does that look like? So if she
Hmm.
wins, then you have Lash Legend, which I support that. However,
Hmm.
um I think what happens with Lash is you can have a few, and I'm fantasy booking now. If Lash was to win, Naya's obviously going to feel some kind of way, and
Yeah.
that's going to start to degrade that. Naya could cost Lash the match when Rhea returns. That starts a whole new feud.
Oh,
Um,
stay there. Lightning just struck my brain. I'm sorry, DDM. Lightning struck my brain. Something you just said. They could go the other way with that. If Chelsea wins, you could have Tiffany Stratton get jealous, and she's still U.S. champion, and Tiffany costs Chelsea right when she's about to possibly beat Rhea down the line to unify the titles. It's
mm,
Tiffany in jealousy that costs Chelsea, and you can have Chelsea and Tiffany feud over the United States Championship.
there you go. Not mad at that either.
Hmm.
So there, I think that's a genius concept as well. But you have that thing. I don't want Charlotte winning 15 like this. We
Me
know that
neither. I agree. I
Her
agree.
and Jade are heading to a feud.
Hmm.
So we know that that's not going to happen. Are we waiting for one last person?
Yes,
Julia
Julia and
or
Lash
Lash
Legend is
Legend.
the
We're thinking it's gonna be Lash.
yeah.
Um. Okay. So
That would
Julia
be the
Lash
shock of
Legend.
shocks if Julia goes in there and beats Lash and wins the championship, because that's something totally fresh.
That would be a
That
hell froze over for that to happen, especially the way they've been
yeah,
booking
but
Julia on the main roster.
think about it though, guys. If anybody's credible, at least work wise that could go in there with Rhea and have a credible match with her, it's definitely Julia. I won't, I'm definitely thinking Lash wins. I'm not going to dispute that at all. But again, there's an avenue. I'm just trying to play all sides of this. I think there's an avenue that nobody's talking about Julia and hasn't been for a while. There's probably a reason for that. But all of a sudden, there could be a switch flipped, and then we're getting Julia beating Lash in an upset, and then we're getting Julia winning the ladder match in an upset because nobody's talking about her. I just like again, I'm just throwing
That
all of
could
this stuff out
happen.
there.
That could totally happen, but the thing is with Julia, the clock will really start winding down because if she gets that interim belt and it's given what that United States reign gave from a
Yeah,
promo perspective, from an interview perspective, that's the thing. It's not an issue of Julia being able to wrestle.
right.
Julia has not proven that she can be a superstar and penetrate the lens in a 360 way.
Sure.
That is her real issue. And having an interim belt in order for that confrontation when Rhea returns to really mean something, you need somebody who can go on the mic as well as deliver a credible wrestling match. And I'm not sure if Julia is there at all for that. And quite frankly, I love Rhea to death, but she isn't the best promo to me. She's not
Right.
somebody where I'm going to be like, oh my God, you need an antagonist, which now, in my opinion, makes Chelsea Green a perfect fool.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Just
I mean, this is why we're spending this much time on this match because it's so intriguing because there's six different outcomes of this for this
yeah, there's
interim, and it's kind of
arguments,
like,
right?
yeah, it's like there's a case for everyone, and at the same time, there's like the more you talk about it, the more it's like, well, this one comes to the forefront, but then it's also SummerSlam, and this is where they like to throw curveballs. If they're gonna do curveballs on a big four, it's usually this one. And now that you brought up Julia, it's like, damn, that really could be like a out of nowhere. I could see that, but then it's also like, I don't know. WWE's been kind of showing us which way they've been leaning recently, but
Yeah, they show their hand. Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, I see exactly what you're saying. Like I said, for the sake of our show and making arguments and presenting, I do want to throw everything out there because I don't think and nothing's impossible until the match is over. Like until we get a winner of that match, anything is still possible. Oh,
yep. So all right, let's look to these other cards. I'm gonna get this match out the way because why is this? I understand why this is a match, but the way that this feud has been, the human money is on a pole match.
yeah.
I don't know if you were in the building for that Extreme Rules 2017 Corey like I was, but
Oh
immediately
yeah, I
I thought
definitely was
back to
there. Yeah.
Candlestick on the pole match, and I'm like, this did not end well for Alexa and especially Bailey because Bailey took the brunt of that for months because of that stupid ass Candlestick on the pole. To even during the pandemic, Vince was like, "Yeah, we kind of fucked up with that. That's my fault. That was stupid." And now we're doing 2.0 with human monies on the pole match. Like I understand the feud. I understand Judgment Day being pissed off. Like, dude, my man, you just scammed us out of 100 grand. At some
There's
point,
zero expectations with this
it's
match,
like there's
Justin.
no
From it.
expectations, but it's also like we're really doing this. Human monies on the pole.
Yeah.
Just like
People like
any
Danhausen.
other name, I'll be more into this. But the fact that you put that fucking name on it, it triggered Candlestick on the pole. And I'm just like, I really don't want to watch this, even though I know this is gonna be entertainment because this is what Danhausen does.
I'm not even being funny, Justin. This ain't for you. This ain't for
There's
me.
gonna be a
There-
this is gonna be a ninety
It's for the
percent,
kids.
90%. There's gonna be a mini housing. We're
Yeah.
in Minnesota. There's gonna be a strong chance there may be a Minnesota Viking, Justin Jefferson, maybe Anthony Edwards. We are in the land of Prince, so anything can happen over there with appearances. But yeah, this is a straight up entertainment. This is basically like Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, WrestleMania 38. We're just this is
Yeah.
just
That's exactly what
entertainment.
this is.
This-
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This ain't for us. I'm not looking for anything out of this match. I'm not expecting anything from it. To me, this is to close whatever Danhausen has been doing with the Judgment Day. That's it. That's honestly what I'm looking at with this. It's to close that, and then we move on. That's really what I see.
So to go from that match, which I'm expecting not to be a 5 star, to two matches I think have show stealing potential. Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, number one contender for undisputed WWE Championship. I think this could be a show stealing match because they both have something to prove. You know, people were pissed off. Sammy only got 9 days with that top title. We've been waiting for damn near a decade for Finn to get back in the top, to the top spot and try to go for that top title again. You know, they pumped fake. What was it? 2 years ago, when like Judgment Day at his peak, and they had the Money in the
Hmm.
Bank briefcase with Finn, and especially with Seth when Seth held the title, and they were pump faking Finn finally winning it, and it just didn't happen. So I think these two really have something to prove, and I think they're just gonna go balls to the wall out there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. 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 It's going to be good either way for sure. I think that's your. I mean that, and then Gunther and Nick Aldis. That's why I think those are your wrestling matches for the weekend. Those two
Did y'all already talk about Gunther and Nick Aldis? I missed it. I was late.
earlier. Yeah. But go ahead.
Oh, boo. Ooh, I'm not going to hold up time because it's
No,
your show.
I'll tag you in
Um,
because hey, you fam, you get to spin the block.
Um, no, I'm excited. To me, outside of
See.
Oprah and
See.
outside of Oprah and Brock, this is like my second favorite match. You know, usually I live for the girls, but um, this is really my second favorite match. Like if I'm ordering SummerSlam, which I will not be doing, thanks to NordVPN and Mimi. Um, this is my second favorite match. This was properly built and not in a extremely long, excruciating amount of time. So we didn't have time to linger on it. It was like, here we are, here's the reason. This is why we're here. You know, we always thought that it would be Nick Aldis and Big Daddy Scrap. And here we had the swerve with him going against Gunther. Now, he's
I
gonna
thought it was going to be
lose.
Drew McIntyre. Honestly,
Right,
Dak.
or something like that, you know. But he's going to lose, but I think he's going to have an amazing showing. And if WWE wants to fill tickets, you start creating a rift between him and Big Daddy Scrap because I want to
Yeah.
see
And
them
Pierce.
wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's,
agree.
it's, 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 it's time to start that because now you're establishing Nick Aldis as an in-ring talent. So Survivor Series, like, I mean, it's book it. Like, stop playing. But Gunther and Nick Aldis, because you know I just love Nick Aldis, period. Anyway. I love him as a GM. I've loved his character. And he fine. But yeah, those two matches are the matches for me. That's
Mm.
all I got.
Hmm.
All right, so that's another one in the Nick Aldis Gunther. I have no expectations, but Gunther always shows up in a big match. And this is the first time I get to see Nick Aldis like wrestle like that. I don't think I've ever seen him actually wrestle. So I'm gonna be interested. But the other match I was looking forward to that I think is gonna steal the show, Penta Chad Gable, man. IC title. We in Gable's hometown. Penta's put on some bangers as IC champion. He's represented that title well. We've seen Gable go after this title before when Gunther had it and come close but not get it. But coming off the heels of the El Grande stick and all that, I think it's Gable's time.
Hmm.
Chad Gable is the black thought of WWE.
Ooh, go?
I like that.
Because he wrestles down. He will never get the credit that he deserves, but every wrestler knows I have to bring it in the ring with Chad Gable. Um, this can be a show stealer. Bottom line and flat out. It's a showstopper. And it's no getting around it. It's a showstopper. It could end up being a match of the night. Just off of pure wrestling. Um, I think that Penta has what it takes, of course. Gable spent that time with Lucha, down in Mexico. This is going to be a stunning, beautiful match.
This is the graps that I'm here for. And then now you got the title on the line. Mm. It's like a
Yeah.
perfectly cooked steak where it's just like just feed it to me and let me just take my time with this.
That's fair. No, no, no. This match definitely could end up being the match of the weekend, honestly, because it's no slouch, but it's like, yeah, Penna's in there with Chad Gable, but Chad Gable's in there with Penna, so it's definitely going to be. It has the possibility to be the match. That I mean, honestly, that match, Finn and Sammy and Gunther and Nick Aldis all have the possibility to end up being the match of the weekend. Honestly.
I agree with those. And then from that match, Trick Williams is defending his United States Championship again. Trick Willie versus the newly brought back Baron Corbin. How do we feel about Baron Corbin? A, back in WWE, and B, we getting a title match.
Baron's been working since he's been gone. It's not like he's been not wrestling. So there's a I'm sorry, there's a world that Baron Corbin steals this and gets the US championship.
Really, we're about to do this. So not only are we not getting Carmelo Hayes on this damn card, but we're gonna have Trick Williams lose his
Well,
title.
Trick's been champion since WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I gotta play a spade a spade. He's been champion since WrestleMania. He could very well lose at and it could be because of Mello. It could be an accidental, you know, interference by Mello that leads to eventually Mello turning heel or something with a feud that you get Mello and Trick without the title involved. But I really there's a world that Baron Corbin wins the United States Championship.
See, you doing all this because Mimi ain't in here.
No, I'm not.
Only
Again,
reason why.
she know I would do it if she was here. But no, I do think that I gotta play all sides. Again, I know the sentimental is keep it on Trick, let him, and I get it. It's not like he doesn't deserve it because he absolutely does. But again, if there's something else coming down the pike from a story standpoint that doesn't necessarily need to involve Trick having the United States Championship, there's a world that Baron Corbin wins. So.
All right.
And that makes sense because the United States belt for the past year has been used to build people. It's been
Mm-hmm.
used to highlight skill set. It's kind of been used to see what can you do with something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's been used for. So I wouldn't be mad at Baron
Hmm.
Corbin. Trick had the belt since WrestleMania. That's about 4 or 5 months now. 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's a respectable run. That's 120 days.
Yep.
Yeah, it's better than anything Liv's done since she's got that belt.
Right.
Marks and Mics, you wanted to hop in here real quick?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling what y'all saying about Trick and Baron. Like, honestly, I don't mind Trick losing
Yeah, I don't either.
because
Mm-hmm.
what that means for me is eventual elevation into that main card picture. He's over. He's probably the most over star they have right now outside of, the top three. Everyone's dressing up like Trick. Whoop that Trick is rain throughout every single arena, and it's about to be rain throughout the stadium. So I don't mind him losing. I don't mind Barry Corbin being like that, you know, I guess underboss in a sense, like,
And he can
you know,
steal it, Mark's way. He doesn't have to beat Trick clean. He can
yeah,
steal a win.
yeah, he can still. It don't. I mean, he's a heel. I'm not expecting anything clean out of
Mm-hmm.
this match. I'm expecting Baron to be Baron and do Baron Corbin shit. That's what I'm expecting out of
Mm-hmm.
this. I do like the analogy of maybe Carmelo Hayes causing him because there's three-way
Yeah.
beef right there. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that whatsoever. But Trick losing really doesn't disappoint me. I'm cool with that just as long as it's a push into the main card title.
Okay. Adam, did you want to hop in right quick?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Go.
Uh, I think those three matches, the Finn, Sammy, Trick, Baron, Penta, Gable, are all perfectly placed because of Money in the Bank coming up. And
Yeah.
like we said earlier, with the sports that's coming, I think those three, three people from those three matches, Penta, Trick, and either Finn or Sammy, are going to be in that Money in the Bank match. I think they're going to be ascended. I think Trick's going to ascend to main card status, and I think Baron Corbin being a U.S. title holder is really. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You got this big bad in the mid card. And now we can hopefully get, if Melo wants to continue with the U.S. title, or if Ilya comes back, that would be really cool. And I think Penta is going to naturally step into main card status, especially when you hear about how Paul Heyman talks about Penta in interviews or on Unreal. It sounds like Paul Heyman obviously has a lot of pull there, so it wouldn't surprise me if Penta's the one to lose against Chad Gable. I'm going to say this last thing, and then I got to go to my daughter's gymnastics. I just really, really hope that Chad Gable hired a rhythm coordinator for Minneapolis, because it's always the crowd seems to be on beat, but Chad Gable is always just like a half beat off. I really, really hope that since he's going home, he took some lessons. Like it's his wedding. He went and got some dance lessons so he can really be on cue with all the fans there. Thank you,
No
guys.
problem, man. That's funny.
Man,
That's
we call
funny.
that man Rhythmless Nation.
Man, that's
Rhythm
funny.
this nation is diabolical. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm with Chad walking out, but is there a world, and just hear me out before
Mhm.
y'all throw tomatoes,
Okay.
is there a world where you see Penta dropping this and then eventually joining his brother?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because they've been talking about revamping the tag team division, right?
The tag team division sorely needs revamping. That's a major understatement.
So what if, and this is just me, what if Gable picks it up clean, what have you, Penta goes a little bit of soul searching, ends up on SmackDown, boom, we get Penta, Phoenix together, and then with the impending arrival of Big Cass, I really, in my heart of heart, believes Enzo's right behind that.
Well,
I
I
think,
think I think with that, Marshall, I think what you need to do then, I think you switch one thing of what you just said.
uh
Phoenix needs to end up on Raw then, I think.
ooh,
Instead of
I
Penta
like
going to
that.
SmackDown, I think Phoenix goes on Raw because I think Lucha Bros versus the Vision for the tag titles feels a lot more.
God
I'd do
damn, you
that
cooking.
instead of Lucha Bros versus Damien and Truth, because I think the War Raiders are getting that. Now that's the other route you could go. You can switch back to what you were saying. It depends on where you want to go with the Lucha Bros. Do you want Lucha Bros and War Raiders, or do you want Lucha Bros in the Vision? I think the immediate is for me is Lucha Bros in the Vision, but the match quality of what you're going to get out of War Raiders versus Lucha Bros far
Yeah.
surpasses that. So they got options, which is a good thing. They got options.
It,
I would personally want to make the move to Raw because going against the Vision means you're going to get the time
Yeah.
because that's Braun Breaker,
Yep.
and the company's invested in Braun Breaker, so you're gonna get highlighted a lot
Yep.
more going against the Vision than.
mm,
I love Weapon Time, but there's only so much you can do with
Oh,
over
they're
on
losing
SmackDown
Friday,
versus
Justin.
like.
They're losing.
yeah,
I
they,
think the
they
War
gotta
Raiders are getting that on Friday.
they gotta lose it. There's only so much you can do with a comedy act tag team.
And not to mention, Penta moving to the tag team frees up that mid card, and Mimi's been on the bandwagon for like do something with Javon, do something with Javon. That clears a lane for Javon
Yeah.
if
Wide
you
open.
clear Penta out.
Yep. Yeah.
Shit, that's definitely wide open.
Hey, can I chime in real quick?
Of
Uh,
course.
all right. See, I do have manners. See, you know,
Ain't nobody questioning. Just shut up and say what
I
you got
know.
to say. I'm telling you.
I know. Hey, you guys made good points about the whole Trick and Baron Corbin
hmm
thing. My thing is,
hmm
I remember growing up watching WCW Saturday Night, and they always said the U.S. champion that was a stepping stone to the world title, like TV champ, U.S. champ.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
almost 30 years ago and a whole company ago though. So
But you know what I'm saying though? It's like
I know what you're saying.
it's that ascension because Booker T made that ascension. That's those steps. And I think because you like with Trick, like y'all was saying, the U.S. titles for establishing him, letting him, like DDM said, roll. Let's see what he does with a title. And I think it is time for him to go to Money in the Bank and take that level because he's not a guy who could be long term U.S. And I do agree with moving like Phoenix to Raw and like shaking things up that tag division. But I do think Gable's going to win. And I do think that Trick's gonna lose to Baron Corbin and may cheat. And that may be a good guy for Melo to beat down the line because Melo could beat that asshole heel. Because Melo
Yeah.
is that baby face. And I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, look, there's a situation. I mean, obviously, this is obvious because it's just the way logic works. There's a situation that every championship changes on Sunday. For real. Obviously, there's going to be a new
Ooh.
champion with the women's, but the Intercontinental, the United States, and the
Mm.
and the World Heavyweight Championship could all change on Sunday.
Well, is it that time that we get to the piece of the resistance, our main
That's
our
fine.
main course for the evening?
That's fine.
Hey, I try to get Mimi in here. The Matrix is still
That's
matrixing,
okay.
but
Everything's working
we
fine
go
the way I wanted it to.
we gotta talk about her tribal chief. We gotta talk about the revolutionary. So Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins for the title. Is this the right time for Roman to lose his title to Seth?
Could be. Could be. There's a world. Here's the thing. It's and this is not Roman bashing or Roman hating or anything like that. Wouldn't it be crazy that the allure on Roman's stellar career is that he could never beat Seth Rollins in a championship match? Like, is it crazy to think that that's the one thing? Like, does Roman need? I know this is a does Roman need it? No, and I'm saying that in the sense of yeah, the story. Yes, absolutely, he has to beat Seth Rollins. Does it really? Are people really going to be like? Dang, I'm so disappointed in Roman. This is crazy. He's not that. Maybe he's not that good. Nobody's saying that if he loses to Seth. Nobody is. He's still the OTC. He's still Tribal Chief. He's still all of that. Nobody. To be honest, call a spade a spade. Nobody really is even was really even thinking about the fact that Roman didn't beat Seth until they bring it up. Nobody's thinking about it. So to be honest, and it's not going to diminish Seth winning. But at the end of the day, Roman's not losing any steam off of this if he loses to Seth. I think it just adds another wrinkle or layer into his already storied career that at the end of the day, you couldn't beat Seth. Again, I'm throwing things out tonight that could possibly happen on both ends. Does it look like Roman's probably winning? Yeah, probably so. Is there a world that Seth Rollins beats him? Absolutely.
And we've seen this in sports before. Tom Brady's the undisputed GOAT of football. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls on his head
Yep.
top. LeBron James, people think is the GOAT. You could argue MJ versus LeBron. Curry's gotten the better of him in the
What, two
finals,
out of three
heads up.
times, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 out of
Or 3 out of
4.
4. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah,
Three out
three
of
out of four.
four.
That's right.
3 out of 4. And we've seen it in sports where it's like, yes, we have the greatest. These guys, there's always that one person that's always had their number. And with Roman, it just comes back to Seth. And Mimi's talked about this before too, where it's like Seth knows exactly how to get into Roman's head and trigger him. It all goes back to their time with the Shield, and it also goes back to Seth cracking him in the back and turning heel. I'm not selling out. I'm buying into the authority, and Roman's never gotten over that. And you just see like even coming out the pandemic, the Royal Rumble match that they had, where like Seth comes out to the Shield music and the Shield gear, and Roman just looks beyond infuriated, and the match hasn't even started. He's just like, this motherfucker. Like Roman does that with no one else, but Seth just knows how to trigger his ass in a way. And like Seth ran it down, it was like, dude, WrestleMania 31, I took your shine. What was it? WrestleMania, the triple threat with him and Punk, that was 40 or 41?
41.
41.
41, boom. I take your shine, I take your match, I pin you, and I take your wise man. And like Seth has gotten the better of him time and again in this to where we love Roman. Roman makes sense as champ. I kind of do want to see where this bloodline goes with Roman as champ because I don't think he's gonna hold it for like a super long time. However, Seth getting this title. and beating Roman kind of freshens things up
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's like you kind of need this freshened up, and you can always do like a best of three with these guys and have them feud for like the next like month, 2 months, however long Roman's going to be here. But Roman winning will be like cool, par for the course. But Seth winning would be like it kind of needed another notch in his cap. It also just proves like yeah, Seth just knows how to get Roman and beat Roman, and now it's like I could do it heads up with no help. Like I think that would be this will be the first time like Seth's beating him clean. Like no triple threat, no shenanigans, no cash ins, no
No, he
nothing.
beat him clean. Money in the Bank 2016. He did. He beat him clean when Dean
Oh,
cashed in.
he did, but then Dean cashed in, so that's why we don't remember
Yeah.
it. Because Dean was like, dude, I don't care who wins, I'm cashing in the same night and I'm taking it off either one of you. And Dean was a man of his word. So it was like, while that did happen, that was also suffering succotash, Roman. That was
Don't let,
getting his
hey,
30 days.
Roman is wrong. I'm sorry. I don't care if he says Big Dog era never existed according to him. Listen, Roman is Roman is Roman. Them titles count.
Yeah,
So no, I don't care if
them
it's
titles
suffering
count.
succotash. He lost.
Them, them titles count, but you know what also counts? That 30-day suspension he got.
Whatever. That counts, okay. Big deal.
Yeah, that count too.
That's fine.
So that one, so like Seth won, but there's like a baby asterisk behind that one.
Okay. That's fine. He still
'Cause,
lost.
I mean, but then so did Seth. So they both won, they both
That's
lost.
fine.
But all right, Slick, I saw you had your hand in. Give me a sec, Bill Biggs, because let's slick in here right quick.
Hey, what's happening, family? Appreciate you guys. Um, Listen, I was
Floor is
I was really
yours.
trying to sit this one out. I ain't gonna lie, I've been having a
Well,
day
then
and a
shut
half.
up.
My
Dang.
kids is
No, I'm,
kicking my
I'm
ass right
joking.
now.
So what was the thing that we said that triggered you? Like, nah, they
Right.
tripping. I gotta
It's
get in
it's the
here.
Roman and Seth of it all. Okay, like the thing is, like in some ways, this is the biggest match they could do, and in some ways, this match has no steam on it right now, and that is crazy. That's kind of
It
crazy, and
has
they've
no
been doing
steam
their
to you.
best.
That's what's
It
crazy.
has no steam, but yeah, Cody and Punk has more steam,
No, I
and
don't
that
think
one
I
to
don't think
me
that
has
has any steam
zero
either.
steam.
I don't think that has any steam either.
Oh,
It's. I mean, like, I think
mm.
honestly, like, and listen, as people who watch the show all the time, we can
Hmm.
all admit they're in a very creative funk right now. I think they just got too much going on. There's too much product. They're rushing things out. Goddamn, Danhausen and Joe Hendry.
I don't know what that was
That
last
was one of the
night.
worst things I ever seen. But I get it.
I don't know what that was. I'm glad I was like working. I was like, I'm gonna sit down. By hearing, I'm like, what was
Bro, I
this?
have not sat through
Who
it.
asked for this?
I watch it in pieces while I'm on the elliptical, but I can't sit through the shows right now. But this Roman and Seth thing, look, like let's be honest. Nobody thinks Seth Rollins is winning this match. This is like I've said this before.
Sorry,
This
I beg
feels
to differ. I think
this
I think it's a lot more people than you think.
they
For
could
real.
always shock us, and you could make an argument for anything, right? But I feel like the match is Roman and Oba at WrestleMania, and everything else is killing time right now. And this Roman and Seth match, because they have so much history, really didn't need a ton of build. But at the same time, they're like trying to force Seth into like a heel role here, but it's so weird, right? Because Seth's like, hey, I come to work. You don't come to work. You make way more money than me and you work way less than me. No average person would get behind that. But the people are just like, oh, OTC, OTC. Like it doesn't make no sense. It just like they're telling a story that does not make any sense. And then like, they keep going to the Seth beats Roman every time. So okay, Roman's got to get his win finally. Okay, cool, whatever. This feels like like 1998 when they were just bringing back like Roddy Piper and Ultimate Warrior so Hogan could get his win back from the early 80s, from the early 90s and 80s. It's just like
Uh,
you're rolling against all these people against Roman Reigns, and the outcome is just not in doubt. And it is what it is. Listen, I know Seth's gonna go out there and put on a show. Roman is also a great wrestler. Like the match is gonna be good. It is what it is. But when wrestling, when the outcome is not in doubt, it takes the juice out of it, and it just doesn't feel like there's, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Listen, you can make an argument that okay, hey, Roman said he'll be here through the summer. The summer's just about over, but like Why? What's the point of putting that title on Seth right now? You know what I mean? Because if we believe the match is Roman and Oba at WrestleMania, and that's probably the match, right? Then like, what's the point of taking it
If
off
that's
Roman now to still get to Roman and Oba at WrestleMania?
because here's the problem. If Roman and Oba's the match at WrestleMania, how do you go another 8 months with Roman as champion if they're in this right collective creative funk right now? How do
Because
you even stretch this 8 months to without Roman dropping this
bro,
belt?
I don't know. But like as
Like
the bloodline
this is
turns is like
like
the that's like the main that's like priority number one of the creative team is how many more family members can we work into the show here? And like I just look, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna check out this
because
one.
it's like as much as I like Roman as champion, this is a struggle to watch the product now, and this is before the big sports come back.
Right.
So there's like
Right.
I don't know how you even get to the next 4 months, let alone you want to stretch this to 8 months with Roman as champ.
Once we get this football back, woo, buddy. Saturday PLEs, we gonna see. We gonna see. So I don't know, but I do. I kind of was overhearing a little bit. What was the consensus you guys landed on? Who do you think is walking out with the women's ladder match? Who do you think is winning that? And also, do you think they really gonna have Liv lose to EO in her first title defense? Like the booking of the women is mind boggling. It's insane.
Mind boggles putting it nice. It's beyond frustrating. So we tackled this. I think we were of a consensus. Corey, you could probably back me up on this. We felt very confident Liz retaining because this is her first title of defense, and it feels like there's more legs to the Judgment Day story, especially with Raquel now getting the IC title. So we
Oh,
were, I
Raquel
believe
won?
we,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, Raquel, bloody nose and all.
yeah,
Raquel
she
got
won
the
the
IC
IC
title off
title
Oh
last
my
night.
Solo.
God, that's show you I ain't finished the whole raw. I think that's a great move. Shout out to you, Raquel. Now book her with bitches that's gonna go in. Cause she a big girl. But that's all I got. Sorry.
So Liv, I think we both had retaining.
Yeah, I think Liv's retaining.
The women's ladder match, we were all like everyone was split because we had to sit here and play like basically like Clue of like who could win, who's realistic with the interim because the interim tag changes everything. Because if Charlotte gets it, it will be her 15th. But do you want her to get it like that? We don't know if it's gonna be Lash or Julia. Do you want them to get the belt, knowing that it's gonna be probably short lived? Tiffany's already US champion. Do you want her to double dip? And then it kind of it's almost like process of elimination, but it's also SummerSlam, so it's also we don't know.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they put that belt on Lash Legend. I just would be shocked, shocked,
I
shocked. I
personally
tell you.
don't. I personally don't only because I want Lash's first reign to be a legitimate one and not like you're going to lose this to Bria when she's back healthy.
Well, I mean, whoever gets this is gonna lose the Rhea once she gets back healthy. You know what I mean? Rhea's in that
Yeah,
protected. She's in the she's
but
in the
like
Charlotte Roman class. You know what I mean? Like
but
this- she's getting it
but I
back
don't
whenever she
want
comes back.
but I don't want Lash's first time with the top title to be that an interim, and then you're going to lose it back
Yeah.
to someone who we think the
You
world
know
I
of.
feel
what
like
they
that's too big of a spotlight to throw Lash in right away. What I was gonna ask, Dab, I want to hear what you guys say, the question I had about the women's world title is: it better for the title to keep it on Live and keep playing out the Judgment Day drama, which doesn't need the title, or put it on EO and just let her hoop with whoever, because she can hoop with anybody. You know what I mean? Just put it on EO and just let her hoop until Stephanie Vaquer gets back, which is more hooping, and then eventually when Rhea gets back, you do the Rhea can't beat EO story.
um my personal opinion, I think EO can afford to lose. She's a two-time champion. EO's always not been the strongest on the mic. She's gotten better with conveying personality. She has did a 180 on that. But I don't, for some reason, as much as everybody loves EO, when she gets the belt, it goes womp, womp, womp when it comes to the ring. I think you can keep it on Olivia, but you have to start giving Olivia something to work with. I think now with Raquel having a belt, um, it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic. Um, in the group. As far as the Rhea situation is concerned, something just struck my mind, and I feel like they. I'm going to sound like Corey. There's a world, and you should get a T-shirt with that on it, Corey. There's a world. There's a world where you should have booked JC Jane in a ladder match, had her win.
Wow.
That's
Ooh,
this
dang
world.
right, you
That's
should
this
have.
world we live in right
Jersey
now.
Yeah,
again,
They
Kyle.
should
yeah.
have been put this shit
Jersey.
on JC
Hey,
Jane.
no,
But,
that's facts.
yeah,
That's big time.
there's a world where you should have booked JC Jane in a ladder match. You should have had her win. You should have had Rhea come back and ran back the same storyline that they did for her in NXT and actually had her beat Rhea. That would have given her with interference from Fatal Influence to make it look good. And then you would have had Fatal Influence with all of the belts. Then JC beats Rhea when she comes back. And
Yep.
Rhea has to redeem herself. She's like, And then we continue to make Rhea a big face because she lost through the cheating. And JC's heel heat. JC Jane could be the biggest heel on SmackDown if they did that right.
I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. Can I tell you one thing why I think they probably won't do something like that? And I hate to say this, but Fallon Henley is a very good looking woman. And I think that they see her as the Michael Jackson of the group, which is crazy. But I
I
just,
don't know if I agree with that because see, here's the thing, and this is where this is people continue to count JC Jane out. JC Jane was in a group with Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose, two bad bitches, and she's the last one standing out of both of them. Do not underestimate her because JC, here's the thing, resting on pretty ain't enough. You being pretty and we've seen it. China became a huge star. Lita had bad skin. Trish was nice looking, but look at how long it took her to get her. Do not underestimate that young lady because I saw her watching her. What made me believe in JC Jane was when she won that NXT title, and everybody was like, "What the hell?" And not a long time, over the span of 2 months, I watched that young lady become one of the most engaging parts of the women's division of NXT to the point where it was like, keep it on her. Do not, Fallon Henley is pretty, but her mic is not strong.
Mm-hmm.
Fallon Henley is pretty, but it's a lot of pretty girls. You being pretty is not enough.
does she need to add a backflip to her roster?
It's nothing. Fallon Henley can wrestle, but it's nothing about her wrestling that is, oh my God. Fallon Henley has all of the pieces, but until that mic picks up, JC is going to continue to have a leg up because JC can wrestle. And what I love about JC Jane, and I can't believe I'm going in for her right now. What I love about her is she's not the prettiest girl, but her confidence and the way that she comes across, you don't give a damn and she don't give a damn. She can sell it. And then the thing is, here's the thing I don't think people are thinking about. The fact that she's not a pretty girl, quote unquote, and she beats America's sweetheart, dark sweetheart, Rhea Ripley, that's going to make people even more pissed. And guess what? One thing people love to do, they love to hate watch. And the thing is
That's
this,
facts.
they're going to feel a way about that. If Fallon Henley and Homegirl got them titles now. Fallon Henley had the NXT North American title. And guess what? People didn't feel a way either way. It's best to
Mm.
be either severely loved or severely hated. And JC Jane is the Wicked Witch of the West, and that girl will outlast them. I'm putting money on that.
Hey, listen. I agree with you, okay? But in this machine, all that matters is what they think, okay? All that matters is what they think. So, look, perfect example, right? Clearly, the powers that be don't see something in Carmelo Hayes. It blows my mind, but there is something about Carmelo Hayes that just does not jive with the people with the pins, okay? And I think all the people at home, they see it, But the people that matter, the people who make the decision, people who decide who wins and lose, don't see it. If you put Carmelo Hayes in the spots that Braun Breaker's been in, I got no doubt he would have knocked them shits out the park. But the people who matter, the decision makers, and that's what I'm talking about. Because I agree with you with everything you said about JC Jane. Okay, but quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes right now. Pretty matters to WWE. Okay, they
But if
about to
that
put
was the
they
case,
about to put Tiffany Stratton next to Blake Monroe, and ooh,
I mean that's
this is
great.
gonna
But
be bad.
here's the
Add to the
thing.
investment. Go ahead.
Here's where I'm going to counter you on Carmelo Hayes. And I'm going to use LA Knight as an example. The office clearly don't believe in him. But you know what LA Knight did? He got that crowd still chanting his name 2 years later when they refused to give that man anything other than a US title shot. And that was a year ago. Here's where Carmelo is failing. And he's just like failing Henley. All of the parts are there, but it's something not connecting on that mic with the audience. Because when Carmelo come out, it's some cheers, but it's not an LA Night cheer. When JC Jane comes out, there are heavy boos. You looking and having all of the pieces, it's like with celebrity. It's just like stardom. Yes, you could put him in a spot. Hell, Braun Breaker is in a spot right now, and it's still not working for him. Why? Because it's that extra special something that they are missing that they have to figure it out. Because guess what? Trick Williams was holding your bags when he first got to that company, and now he is ahead of you. Trick Williams being in a feud with you is doing Carmelo a favor. It's not doing him a favor. So you having the parts, we could put you in a space. They put Braun Breaker in the space. Hell, they put Tiffany Stratton in the space. And guess what? Tiffany's best feud was the one with Charlotte. And Charlotte suffered from that, but she bounced back. Tiffany ain't been Tiffany since then. They gave her this title reign, but you looking the part, having a wrestling, that's not enough. It's a difference between being a great hand and being a superstar. And a superstar does not have a look, it has a feeling. And Carmelo has not figured out how to capture that feeling out of the controlled environment down in Florida.
Mm,
I heard church organs in the background.
Mic drop.
free, free,
Mic drop.
free,
Mm, I
free.
I
mean,
felt that in my soul.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get some
know how
words in
we
here
follow
before I
that.
go because NXT is cooking right now, and I've
Yes.
been watching the whole time. Sorry, not sorry, but they're cooking right now. I love y'all. This is fantastic, Justin. You finished the show. I got to get on NXT because this is great right now. Like what Grayson Waller just did.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
yeah.
Grayson Waller back in NXT? That's fire.
He ain't, but
He
Yeah.
ain't
again,
shit
you
I
got
He
to
seen him
delivered.
do.
yo.
NXT needs help, bro. Like I'm glad they got Mike Santana.
Oh,
What they call him, Cruz del Toro, part two. The nigga.
oh my god.
I mean, fuck. I just criticized. I just damn cruise something.
Cruz
Montana.
I was
Montana.
gonna say Cruz
Bruce
Montana. Boom.
Montana.
I criticized the name until I figured out. Until he came out, and was like,
Oh
it's to
shit,
honor
here you
like
go.
his. He came up with that because it's to honor his father who passed away. Shit like that. I was like, damn man. I take back what I said. You don't sound like a '90s porn star.
Oh, by the way, this is my last thing. I was talking with one of my coworkers the other day, and he don't really watch wrestling, whatever. We was just talking about like wrestlers, well, female wrestlers, and he was like, "Yo, why do all the female wrestler names sound like porn stars?" And I started like going over my head. I was like, "Oh shit, J.C. Jane, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca." Belair. I was like, "God damn, they do sound like porn stars." Like,
They do. It's like they're signed to Wicked or like Spice
oh,
Network or some
Yo,
shit. For if you know, you know. But it's like I get it. You know, you guys want to capitalize. You want to make money off the name. You don't want to use their real names. It's branding. There's a whole machine behind that. But at the same time, it's like some of these names sound too damn generic, and some of these do like. Do you guys be watching some Pinot and like this is how you come up with it? I understand Mike Santana different is to honor his pops. I apologize. All right, so let's. I know you guys had some last words here, so we're gonna wrap up soon. Bill Bigsby,
yeah.
Marks and Mike's, Vaughn. I know you guys want to say a couple things. on the way out. Bill Bigsby, you
Thanks
first.
for taking my call as always. Do we call this a call? But I'll say this. I agree with DDM was saying because JC Jane, the whole time, I remember everybody said she was a weak link in toxic attraction. Look what happened. Sometimes as a talent, they could put you in a spot, but you may have to get in the lab and make it work yourself as well. And I think because I remember when Naomi turned heel, no one thought the Kasha Giver was going to come out, but she got in the damn lab. Sometimes it's up to the talent to get in there. And sometimes you may just be a good hand in the ring, but you still have a job. You make a couple $100K a year. And who knows? Maybe your time will come, but it is a connection. Just like in regular everyday sports, there's a connection. Look at how the Knicks made they just won the title. They connected with the team, for example. And I think that is something that some of these young talent have to learn. Build a connection because the fans don't, because good wrestling don't get you so far. The connection, they want to cheer you or they want to watch you lose. That will sell tickets and make you more money and have you in a higher card. That's all I have. You guys take it easy. Thanks again, as usual, guys and gals.
Thank you, Bill Bixby. I'll just add one quick thing. The Knicks connected with the fan base so good. The brass told LeBron to kick rocks, and the fans didn't even bat an eye. That we've come so far. Marksman Mikes, you up next.
Yeah, once again, y'all out here doing the Lord's work, DDM, church organs, that's all I can say. Definitely preach. But I would say this. I do agree with the fact with Melo, he I don't think he's necessarily had that opportunity to really cook to connect to that audience. He could wrestle his ass off. But far as connecting to the audience the same way he connected in NXT, I think Melo's the one he needs a heavy. He needs a heavy to get that connection. And that's the only way I see that happening for him. Unfortunate, it's due to his size and stature. We've seen that happen numerous times in the past with a lot of people that have, who are around his height. So he's going to need something to get him over. Far as SummerSlam this weekend, it should be a banger. We all came to the same conclusion. I don't see Roman walking out with that. I don't see Roman losing the title. They can copy and paste everything they did from the bloodline from a couple years ago to scratch it out 8 months. But it should be a pretty good SummerSlam. And we got a couple bangers to look forward to. But once again, thank y'all once again for holding the space. And it's good to be back.
Thank you, Marksman Mikes. Vaughn, did you want to get in here?
Yeah, I'm not going to be before you long, but of course, DDM 5 mics for for that. You know what I mean? And the thing is, especially when it comes to Carmelo Hayes, is that the thing is, I would say that with between him and Trick, I would say that shift really happened during their NXT stand and deliver. And I've had conversations with people about this. Was that was that Trick was going to I predicted the Trick was going to make a better transition on the main roster than Melo. So like I said, that turnaround happened sooner than I'm pretty sure a lot of people expected. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is that Trick has a certain level of aura and mic skills and just natural presence that cannot be taught. You know what I mean? And so I guess Melo has to get more into Shawn Michaels' ear to see to find out what it takes to really tick. But at the same time, Shawn has certain X factor that even he can't teach Melo. But that's another point. That's another story. But the thing is as far as Trick, like at first I wanted to see him beat Baron, but with the way that y'all are breaking this down, I wouldn't really mind, especially when it comes to his trajectory going to the main roster, because this isn't new. Because Corey would know as well, even when it came to WrestleMania. I mean, when it came to SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium. Of course, Brett losing to Davy Boy. end up, he ends up elevate his stock ends up elevating and transitions to the to the main event spot, right after that. And what I mean, so that's not a new concept. Now, when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to the women's wild card, the women's ladder match, I would say that the wild card would be either Lash Legend or that's my wild card pick. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen of Caution, were to make a surprise return. But that's another, neither here nor there. But as far as that, and when it comes to the championship, I would say that like I said, and at least in my aspect, I still go with Roman. Just I know that everybody wants to talk about how Seth could be the one guy that could be the thorn in Roman's side, but at the same time, I still go back to WrestleMania 19 when, of course, when The Rock finally beat Stone Cold and and got that monkey off his back, gorilla off his back or whatever. And even with the sports analogy, like I said, as a Cowboys fan, I know that we beat the 49ers twice, but eventually they got over that, and Steve Young, finally got the ring. So I think that there's a way where cycle can be broken. So in this aspect, I'm looking at this to be the time where Roman finally breaks that cycle as far as championship matches against Seth, where it matters the most. So that's that's my take on that. So, but that's all I have to say about that one. And thank you very much for giving me this time.
Thank you, Vaughn. It's around that time. We ran a little late, but hey, man, we had a lot to talk about going into SummerSlam. You guys had a lot of great takes, a lot of great thoughts, and two nights we are here. SummerSlam is upon us. Minneapolis this weekend. A lot of wrestling to look forward to. A lot of bangers and a lot of let's see how this plays out. Obviously, as you guys know, this is around our annual hiatus. We will be taking a break from the buckle for a hot minute to refresh, recharge, life be life and stuff like that. So when you see us throw the back signal up for our return, we'll let you know in advance and we'll be ready to talk wrestling and hopefully WWE takes some chances, like you saw AEW take some chances and go different directions and whatnot. Hopefully, WWE figures out their creative rut, especially post SummerSlam, so we can have something going into Money in the Bank that's more watchable compared to just killing time and just going through the motions. Because, like we said, August is upon us and NFL is about to be back. The footy is about to be back. Premier League, La Liga, for those who are coming off the World Cup high, that's going to be coming back. Sports is going to be ramping up. So we will be on hiatus. In the meantime, go check out the Mothership Thursday nights, 8:35 YouTube. Black Wrestling with the Cousins, all the Shenanigans Club, 8:35 and everything. The Cousins been on fire, man. Cal be want to tell you, DDM been wilding like. It's must see TV on YouTube Thursday nights. But go check in the meantime. On behalf of myself, Mimi, Corey, we out. Peace.